With the second to last pick in Thursday's NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers selected Jabari Walker, a forward out of the University of Colorado. Here is me and Eric's live reaction to that draft pick.
All right, here we go. Put it on.
Yep.
With the 57th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Jabari Walker.
Yeah, let's go.
University of Colorado.
There you go.
Let's go.
I want a Barlow, man. That's disappointing. Dang. Alright, why do you like Jabari Walker so much?
Elite rebounder for his size, projects to be a solid defender, good size, didn't shoot the ball tremendously well this year, but as I said earlier, I think a lot of that was due to not really having the best team around him and just not getting the best, shot selection was a little questionable, but I think if you look at his first year in college, I mean, he had insane shooting splits, went way down this year, but I think he could get back to that in the right situation. I think he's athletic. I think he just being slept on as a wing that can pretty much do everything, can handle the ball a little bit, maybe not the best off the dribble or passing, maybe has a little bit of hidden capability in that regard, but perfect size for a small forward. I think he's fluid enough to stay in front of a lot of wings. I just think he should have gone in the late 20s, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like him. Second player on my board. I want Barlow just because of the upside. Would have been fun to swing on, but Jabari Walker. Yeah, solid. Impressed me with Colorado. I think I had him late 30s. So fine with I'm happy with this pick. I said I was disappointed. I want Barlow, but I mean value-wise, it's a really good value pick. As you can see, Eric was very excited about this draft pick, while I wanted Dominic Barlow, who ended up signing a two-way contract with the Spurs, a little bit more instead. But I am still happy with the value that the Blazers got out of the 57th overall pick, as I had Jabari Walker 44th on my big board, while Eric had him 25th. In this video, I'm going to get into what I think about Jabari Walker's game, how I see his game translating to the next level, and what he needs to improve on. I dropped a Shaden Sharp draft reaction video a couple days ago, so definitely go check that out. Leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're new. We will have a free agency stream on Thursday. We will go live an hour before free agency starts, preview it a little bit, and then we will have Woj's and Shams' Twitter feeds on screen updating live, so you guys don't have to go to Twitter and check them out. You guys can hang out here with us. Me and Eric will give you commentary, and you'll be able to see their Twitter feeds update live, and we will have graphics for that as well. Graphics that'll rate the top 10 players at each position, the top 10 overall, who is signed, and all that stuff. So come join us on Thursday, going live 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now let's talk some Jabari Walker. Jabari Walker projects instantly as a 3&D guy. During his 2 seasons at Colorado, Walker shot 40% from 3, which included shooting a wild 52% from 3 his freshman season. That was on 23 for 44, and then his sophomore season he saw a downtick, shot 34.6% from 3, but did shoot better the second half of the season. It was said that he was putting a lot of pressure on himself to be the star at Colorado after McKinley Wright left, and once he settled down the second half of the season, he became a much better player. He averaged a little under 15 points per game, over 9 rebounds per game, and about an assist per game as well. And Walker is looked at as a guy that is a little bit streaky as a shooter from game to game. He's prone to going on some dry spells, but he's also prone to having some phenomenal shooting performances. In their final regular season game against the University of Utah, he was 3 for 6 from 3. The next game after that was the first game of the Pac-12 tournament. Jabari Walker shot 2 for 5, and then the semifinal in the Pac-12 tournament, Colorado faced Arizona, which was one of the top teams in the country, and he went 5 for 6 from 3. I remember watching that game and drooling over the thought of Jabari Walker playing for the Portland Trail Blazers. The dude was knocking down 3 after 3 after 3. But the other positive with him is also his defense. He's really good at containing drives. He's strong. He has a good closeout. Solid lateral quickness for a forward. I'm not yet sure if he's a guy that you're going to be able to switch on to 1s and 2s in the league. I think he will guard small forwards and power forwards just fine, and you can maybe play him at a little bit of a small ball 5 and he can be fine there. But generally, he's a well-rounded defender who can defend on the perimeter, solid foot speed, contains drives well, closeouts well, team defense is solid, rim protection is okay for a power forward. I don't know if it's going to be good enough for him to be a small ball 5 in the league, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And Walker could be a high floor guy that might be ready to play right away because he can knock down threes and play some defense. That is the most sought after type of role player, a guy that helps you on the defensive end and a guy that spaces the floor for your stars and plays off the ball. That is the easiest player to bring into a system and kind of fit into whatever you have going on in your organization. Now, here are Jabari Walker's measurements. He measured a shade under 6'7" without shoes, 6'8" with shoes. He has a 6'11" wingspan as well as an 8'9" standing reach, which is a little bit below average for a power forward. What's funny is that Jabari Walker is looked at as a 4, and some Blazer fans are hesitant to think of Shaedon Sharpe as a potential small forward, but Jabari Walker's standing reach is only an 1.5 inches taller than Shaedon Sharpe's. Jabari Walker also had one of the highest body fat percentages out of the draft prospects. He had a 12.1% body fat percentage, and I think slimming down a little bit will be key to adding different parts to his game, because Jabari Walker struggles off the dribble. He doesn't have the greatest first step. He's not the best ball handler. He doesn't really make plays for others, and his off the dribble game at the next level looks like something that'll be a major work in progress. The first thing he'll need to start with is just attacking closeouts. As a guy that can knock down threes, defenses will probably run him off the 3-point line, and he needs to be able to hit a 1 or 2 dribble pull-up to beat those closeouts. However, Jabari Walker's jumper is a little bit more of a set shot. It's a slower shot, and he doesn't have good rhythm shooting off the bounce. A lot of times his upper body doesn't catch up to his lower body because his shot is slower, and the transfer of energy off the dribble into his jump shot just isn't fluid enough, and that is something he'll have to work. He'll have to speed up his shot. Now, there's a couple times last year where Jabari Walker dribbled into threes, but they were in transition, where he was able to kind of set up his dribble in a straight line and step into his shot. He needs to become a more dynamic shot maker in order to really keep defenses honest, because if he's not a guy that can attack closeouts and get to the rim and finish, if he's not a guy that can attack a closeout, take 1 or 2 dribbles and pull up from the mid-range, then defenses will be able to just sell out on him at the 3-point line. I think the whole playmaking aspect and making his teammates better and facilitating is something that I wouldn't be comfortable projecting him as being able to do just yet. However, he's still pretty young. Despite playing 2 years at Colorado, he's still only 19 years old. He turns 20 on July 30th, so I don't want to pigeonhole him into being a guy that can't do certain things. It's just going to take some work, but Chauncey Billups is potentially the right coach to help develop that for him. In terms of just getting to the rim and his finishing around the rim, he wasn't the best finisher. I believe he shot 52% around the rim, which is not good whatsoever, especially for a power forward. That is something he's going to need to improve. He just doesn't have the greatest burst around the rim and doesn't have the greatest burst off the dribble either. That's the one part that kind of worries me with the Jabari Walker is he athletically going to be capable of doing much more than just spot up shooting and playing some defense? That's where maybe trimming him up a little bit could benefit him, make him a little bit quicker. He does have some body fat to lose, and we saw that with Trent Watford, who lost some body fat, slimmed up, and looked phenomenal last season. So hopefully that's the same thing with Jabari Walker. Hopefully he can slim up and get a little bit quicker and maybe have a little extra burst off the dribble that allows him to attack closeouts a little bit better, maybe get by his initial defender in some certain situations, and then hopefully be a little bit more explosive around the rim, which should help him finish. But he is a little undersized for the power forward position, and the lack of explosiveness makes it hard for him finishing on the interior. Now, he will play in Summer League. I will have a video previewing Summer League, giving you guys what I'm looking for in Summer League out of certain players. I'll talk about certain traits. One of the traits for him will be just his off the dribble game, but I'll go into more depth with that in that video. Now, Walker can be signed to a 2-way contract or a minimum contract. The Blazers could sign Walker to a 2-year minimum and be just fine. If they want to sign him to a 3-year minimum contract or a 4-year minimum contract, they have to take some money out of their mid-level exception or their biannual exception. They don't get their biannual exception if their salary is going to be above about $156 million, and it sounds like it's going to be pretty close. So the Blazers might have to take some money out of their mid-level exception in order to sign Jabari Walker to a 3 or 4 year minimum contract. That doesn't apply if it's a 2-year minimum contract. You don't have to take the money out of that MLE, but if it's 3 or 4 years, you do. The other option would be signing Jabari Walker to a 2-way contract. That's what the Blazers Blazers did with Trendon Watford last year, and then they converted his contract into a normal main roster contract. The Blazers right now already have one two-way spot filled with Brandon Williams, who was signed on a two-way last year and is still on a two-way this year. So they do have another two-way spot to sign Jabari Walker to, and the Blazers didn't sign an undrafted free agent to a two-way contract. So if I had to guess, I'd lean towards them maybe going with a two-way for Jabari Walker. And then if that's the case, we'll see if he can earn his way onto a main roster contract. In the end, next season, I think Jabari Walker could be a guy that if injuries strike the Blazers, if they are missing some of their depth and they just need to throw somebody out there, I think Jabari Walker's a guy that you could throw out there and he wouldn't hurt the team because he just spaced the floor, knocked down threes, and then he'd play some defense and probably, at least hopefully, wouldn't be a guy that tries to do too much. I think Jabari Walker's a pretty high floor guy to pick in the second round. I think he could end up being a role player just because of his shooting and defensive ability, but he's definitely going to have to work on his off the dribble stuff, reading the floor, trying to get a little bit quicker, a little bit more athletic, and that sort of thing. Anyway, that wraps up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Jabari Walker down in the comment section below, and I'm out of here. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.